Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In earlier videos, as I told you that we will be discussing today the types of contracts. But before moving forward to types of contracts, we need to understand two terms. First is valid agreement and the second is void agreement. So, valid agreement is an agreement which is enforceable by law. So we all know if an agreement is enforceable by law, it means it possesses all the essential elements of a contract and it becomes a contract because it is enforceable by law. Then we come to void agreement. So what is void agreement? Agreement which is not enforceable by law, which means it doesn't possess all the essential elements of contract. So a void agreement is never a contract. So valid agreement means valid contract. Now let's move to void contracts. So according to the Contract Act, a void contract is defined as a contract which ceases to be enforceable by law, becomes void when it ceases to be enforceable. So I know it is little bit confusing, but I have defined it in a simple language so you can understand it better. So what are void contract actually? When a contract is valid at the time of its making, but later on due to the change in circumstances or due to the change in any law, it becomes unenforceable, then a contract is called void contract. Generally we have earlier we have learned the void agreement which is not a contract because it doesn't have all the essential elements of contract, so it was never a contract. But void contract, they were contract when they were formed, they were valid, it was enforceable, but later on either due to the change in circumstances or due to the change in law, it becomes unenforceable, so then the contract becomes void. Suppose A and B entered into an agreement, but later on A died. Obviously when A died, he cannot perform a contract, so who will perform a contract for him? So the contract becomes void. So when they enter into contract, both were living, both can perform, the contract was valid. And when one person died, the contract cannot be performed, there was a change in circumstances, so the contract becomes void. Now second point for void contract comes as restitution. What does it mean? Let's read. Any person who has received any advantage under the void contract is bound to restore it to the person from whom he got it. So when a contract was formed, it was valid, and if during that time if any of the party perform its part, means it do something and the other party got the advantage of that thing, and when the later on the contract becomes void, so the party who has done his performance is bound to restore it or to get the same advantage which he have provided. So let's move on to example, it will make you more clear. So let's see first example for void contract. A agrees to write a book for Mr. B, a publisher. After few days, A dies due to the heart attack. The contract has become void due to impossibility of performance. Because this is a personal service contract, A has to write a book, so A cannot be replaced with someone else. So if A dies, the contract becomes void. Now let's see the example for restitution. A contract with B to deliver him 2500 kg of rice before the 1st of May. A delivers 1500 kg up to 23rd April and none afterwards due to the change in law. B retains the 1500 kg with him, so he is bound to pay for the rice received by him. Suppose the law of the country changes and now the trading of rice is not allowed. We are supposing it, okay, just to explain you. So it's not allowed, but B had actually delivered 1500 kg. He was bound to deliver 2500 kg, but contract become void, and now he already delivered 1500 kg. So the restitution allows him that he is bound to receive the amount for 1500 kg. So B is bound to pay him for the 1500 kg. He cannot say the contract has become void, now I'm not bound to pay. He is bound to pay for the amount of the rice which he had received. So this is done And now let's see one little summary for the video. So what we know today is void agreement means void from beginning. They were never a contract because they do not possess essential elements. They were not enforceable. So void agreement, void from beginning. But void contract, they were valid when they were formed, but they becomes void subsequently. So I hope you understand the difference between the void agreement, void contract, valid agreement, valid contract. So now we'll meet in another video explaining you the voidable contracts. Till then, bye. If you have any question, if you have any query, please comment, please message, leave a comment in the comment section so I can help you better. Bye bye. Take care.